Today on the program, soon on screen, new film by Guillermo del Toro, Crimson Peak. Almaty State Circus hosts new program. Learn more in art event. Within, on the front line, we visited the actor's studio named Balkon. The hero of today's program, Master has it, Kairat Kaishygulov, Master of National Musical Instruments. American horror film Crimson Peak comes on the big screen, directed by well-known Guillermo del Toro. Screen co-writers are Matthew Robbins and Lucinda Coxon. The film is set in England in the 19th century. A young writer, Edith Cushing, finds out that her husband is not who he pretends to be. Initially, the British actor Benedict Cumberbatch and Emma Stone were to play key roles, but then they left the project. They were replaced by Tom Hiddleston and Mia Wasikowska. Filming started in April 2014. The ghosts in the film are red. It is an unusual idea by the director. He wanted the ghosts not to be like common ghosts. The film also stars Charlie Hunnam, Jessica Chastain, Doug Jones, and Jim Beaver. Almaty State Circus again delighted the audience with their new program. This show was attended by artists from Russia, Cuba, Spain, and Yakutia who presented their original acts for the first time. Exotic animals, breathtaking stunts, funny clown reprises, and much more. It all came together in a colorful and bright circus show that will long be remembered by every viewer. Today we present a new show. The style of the show is theater and circus performance. It is called 13 Miracles and Curious Animals. Number 13 is a sacred number for the circus, because the heart of any circus. A playpen and arenas all around the world have a diameter of 13 meters. We have one circus act called You and I. This is a synthesis of several genres, acrobats on mast and aerial gymnasts. This act was awarded the prestigious prize Silver Elephant and 3 special prizes at the World Circus Festival in Spain this year in March. It must be noted that the treasury of our circus now has 2 more collective circus acts. They are Floor Mats, Celestial Symphony, and a lovely act, Milky Way. I dreamed to come to Kazakhstan. I have never worked in the Almaty Circus, though we are of the same age. And suddenly I had an offer to come here. Of course, I was happy. I do love Kazakh hospitality. We took funny cloud aid that Kazakh audience has never seen before. I am working at the professional manager for 25 years. By the way, the first stage I worked at was the Aktubinsk Oblast State Philharmonic. My attitude to Kazakhstan is very special, just for the reason that the first note in my workbook is work in Aktubinsk. Clowning is my life. I live for that and always work and perfect it. Everything began in my early childhood. It seems I was born as a clown. I had immediate passion to clowning. I was different from others at the school. At home I was different from all people in the world. And my teacher saw my passion and sent me to the circus school, so my professional career began. The The circus leaves no one indifferent because the circus is a good mood and a lot of positive emotions. The circus gives each viewer a piece of happiness that stays with him forever. Acting is a professional creative activity in the creation of scenic images. Learning the craft at all times has been given great importance. Like any other profession, it requires a huge impact, both from the student and the teacher. Our crew visited the actor's studio, where people of completely different ages can learn this exciting and challenging profession. Our studio has been working for 2 years. Within this period, 1,200 people trained in our studio. There are children and adults. The training is divided into 3 age categories. Children of 5 to 8 and 9 to 12, teenagers of 13 to 16, and adults of 17 and up. The oldest student of our school was a pensioner, 65 years old. She was engaged in acting just for herself in her free time. 95% of our students are ordinary people who have never dealt with theater before. They come here first of all for themselves, for psychophysical emancipation. Everybody has his own problems, like problems with the voice, body, bearing, inner nature, stage fright, or new people. They fix all these problems here because we have a special program and approach. If you went wrong, you must excuse it somehow, so we teach it here. It does help in everyday life, family and friends. All domestic problems you must leave behind the school doors, and people who come to us must be withdrawn from life in order to have hearts full of art. After our classes, people become really interesting and attractive. We promote a love for theater. For example, if people come to open up or speak correctly, then after our trainings they begin to visit theaters, be interested in it, and even try themselves on the stage. First of all, they must work on themselves, and our work is to direct them and show them the way. There were students that knew totally nothing about acting, but now they play in the theater. It means that they reached a high level in the shows on the stage. I like my trainer, he is very qualified. We have a wonderful team, all positive and cheerful. Today I've taken my grandson here. He participates in school performances since 5th grade and dreams to be an actor. I visited classes today, and I like it very much too, and even wanted to participate in order to open up and get rid of my complexes. To say the truth, to be an actor is my pipe dream. I was very screwed up from childhood and always was sure it was not so good to reach such goals. I think such kind of schools are very good for children who have some problems. They help to find one's sea legs. There are several projects next year. It is 2 different performances with different visions and directions. Specially invited professional experts will work on direction, but mostly our former students will work on them. By this way, we give free hands for our students. Now we are growing. This fall, our new school in Astana will be opened. Also, we're planning to have 6 more schools all over Kazakhstan. Kazakh national instrument, kulkobuz, is considered the most ancient bowed string instrument, which still keeps its original form. Masters of kulkobuz always are honored and respected. Today, the hero of our program, Kairat Kaishygulov, master for the production of national musical instruments, will share the most ancient techniques of making the kulkobuz. From the very childhood, I was interested to manual trainings, and all my free time I used to spend in manual trainings classrooms. I did crafts and woodworking at the turning machine. After that, my relatives asked the famous master, Joly Kaishygulov, to take me for classes and develop my skills. Joly Kaishygulov is a notable teacher, professor at the National University of Pedagogics, named after a bai. There's a chair of arts and crafts. There he teaches students how to make musical instruments and how to work with wood and what points should be considered while working with it. It is very important to note that he teaches how to make high-quality instruments. At that time, I believed it was just a hobby. I studied at university, and my free time I spent in libraries. I had classes with Joly Kaishygulov. Kobuz is one of the most ancient musical instruments. I dare to say that it is heritage of all our cultural history. The shape of the instrument still keeps its origin and repeats the shapes of museum pieces. We just make them more beautiful and of high quality, but anyway the shape is not changed. Kobuz is handmade work. Even for new high technological machines, it is difficult to make this instrument. That's why everything is made manually. When you make any instrument manually, you put your heart in it and already know that it must have excellent sound. The most important in making kobuz is wood. It must be very good. Also, it must be fully dried. We dry the wood for a minimum of 2 years. The wood must be the hardest one. Traditionally, we make kobuz from elm. You also can use birch, maple, and larch. After that, working out comes. We rarely use joint wood. Usually all instruments are made from a single piece. After making the body, we start to make the membrane of the kobuz. It is made of camel hide because from ancient times it is camel hides used for the membranes. The camel hide is processed and tightened on the kobuz. Strings for the kobuz are made from horse's hair. We also use horse hair for the fiddle bow. We select it very carefully according to the standards and sizes. Not every hair is good for the kobuz. Then we decorate the instrument. A variety of ornaments and carvings are made. After decoration, in order to protect the instrument, we varnish it. For each instrument, we make a special case, because everybody wants different cases. Some want cases with national ornaments, and some want cases of unusual shapes. It means that each instrument is an inimitable piece of art. By each one, you discover something new and become more experienced. After the instrument is finished, the very exciting moment for every master comes: sound checking. The most important is not to have a false sound. You must have all sounds clean and audible. I believe that making musical instruments and arts and crafts is not a profession, but a way of life. You put all your heart and spend all your time on it. If you do what you love, it is freedom. If you love what you have done, it is happiness. I want our musical instruments to be famous not only within our country, but also abroad.